Elliot fidgeted, clutching a wilting daisy. Blind date jitters. He scanned the cafe, spotting a woman with a book. Kendra? She looked up, eyes widening.
You're not Mark.
She blurted, gathering her things. Before Elliot could explain, another woman approached, a mischievous glint in her eyes.
Ready to run away with me, darling? She
She teased, grabbing his arm. Elliot's jaw dropped. Wrong girl. This was definitely not Kendra. Elliot? Wait, He stammered, but she pulled him into the bustling street. And so began Elliot's disastrous, hilarious, and utterly unforgettable date.
They call me Sasha.
The woman said, biting into a croissant. Elliot, swept along by the current of her chaos, found himself in a bakery. Elliot, and I'm supposed to be on a date with,
Boring! We're living a spy film. We need disguises.
she declared, grabbing his hand. She plopped a ridiculous hat on his head just as a policeman entered. Sasha gasped, shoving the half-eaten croissant into Elliot's hands.
The thief, catch him!
She cried, pointing at Elliot. Elliot, framed for pastry theft, could only sputter as the officer approached. This date was officially off the rails. Meanwhile, Max, Elliot's self-proclaimed wingman extraordinaire, received a garbled SOS call. Elliot, dude, help! Bakery, police, croissant! The line went dead.
My boy's in trouble.
Max declared to his reflection, mistaking the bakery mention for a coded cry for help. He grabbed his trusty smoke bomb, every good wingman has one, and raced out. Little did he know, his rescue mission would lead him to the most chaotic wedding of the century, and Elliot wasn't even the one getting hitched. Back at the bakery, Elliot was trying to explain the croissant incident when a commotion erupted outside. A man in a tuxedo sprinted past, pursued by a furious bride wielding a bouquet like a weapon. "Bride, he stole my grandma's tiara!" she shrieked. Sasha, never one to miss an opportunity, grabbed Elliot's hand.
Time for Plan B!
She exclaimed, pulling him along in the wake of the runaway groom. The officer, mistaking their panicked flight for accomplice behavior, slapped handcuffs on them. Elliot, now literally chained to this whirlwind of a woman, wondered if he'd ever have a normal date. Following a trail of dropped pastry crumbs, because of course, Max burst into the bakery, smoke bomb primed. He expected to find Elliot in distress, not being dragged out by a very attractive, if somewhat manic woman.
Dude, what's going on?
Max coughed, waving away the smoke. Elliot, handcuffed to Sasha, just sighed.
Long story.
He said, as the officer bundled them into a police car. Max, ever the loyal friend, hopped into his beat-up car. He may not have understood the situation, but one thing was clear. Elliot needed him, and maybe a fire extinguisher, just in case. Sasha, ever resourceful, talked their way out of the police car, claiming they were registered guests at the wedding. Elliot, now caught in a web of lies and pastries, found himself at the reception, still handcuffed to his accidental date.
Don't worry, I have a plan.
Before Elliot could question this, she dragged him onto the dance floor, their mismatched attire and awkward movements drawing stares. And then, the music changed. It was a song Sasha knew by heart, a ridiculously catchy tune that had them laughing and spinning, their initial awkwardness replaced by a strange, undeniable connection. As the night went on, fueled by punch and a shared sense of absurdity, Elliot finally confessed. He had been holding on to this secret for what felt like an eternity, and the weight of it was almost unbearable. The atmosphere was electric, filled with laughter and the clinking of glasses, making it the perfect moment to reveal the truth.
I was supposed to be on a blind date with someone else. Can you believe it? The whole situation was a mix-up from the start. I never imagined it would lead to this.
Sasha stopped dancing, her eyes wide. She couldn't believe what she was hearing. The revelation hit her like a bolt of lightning, freezing her in place amidst the swirling crowd.
You're kidding. This has to be a joke, right? How could something like this even happen? It's like a scene straight out of a romantic comedy.
He told her about Kendra, the mix-up, the whole disastrous evening. Sasha burst out laughing. The absurdity of the situation was too much to handle, and her laughter was infectious, spreading to those around them.
This is even better than I imagined. I mean, who would have thought that a simple mix-up could lead to such an unforgettable night? It's like fate had a hand in this.
She exclaimed, grabbing his hand and pulling him into a conga line that seemed to involve half the wedding guests. The music was lively, and the energy was contagious. They moved in sync with the rhythm, their laughter blending with the joyous shouts of the other guests. Elliot, swept up in the moment, found himself laughing along with her. The worries and anxieties of the evening melted away, replaced by pure, unadulterated joy. It was a moment of connection, of shared happiness that neither of them would soon forget. Maybe this wasn't the date he'd planned, but it was certainly the most memorable one he'd ever had. In that instant, surrounded by friends and strangers alike, he realized that sometimes the best moments in life are the ones you never see coming. The night was far from over, and as they danced and laughed, Elliot couldn't help but feel grateful for the unexpected twist that had brought them together. He turned to Sasha, his heart pounding. The room was a whirlwind of activity, but in that moment, everything else faded away. The chaos around them seemed to amplify the intensity of his feelings. He didn't want this night to end. The laughter, the unexpected twists, and the sheer unpredictability of the evening had brought them closer than he ever imagined. Elliot realized something. Amidst the chaos, he had found clarity. It wasn't just the events of the night that had him feeling this way. It was Sasha, her presence, her laughter, her spirit. As the dust settled and the police arrived, again, he couldn't help but chuckle. It was a night of mishaps, but also of moments that would be etched in his memory forever. Their laughter echoed amidst the mayhem. It was a sound that seemed to rise above the chaos, a testament to their resilience and connection. Through it all, Elliot and Sasha found themselves drawn closer, their bond strengthening with each passing moment of the night. And then there was Max, accidentally setting off his smoke bomb in the middle of the wedding cake. It was a scene straight out of a comedy, yet it only added to the charm of the evening. A missing tiara added another layer of absurdity to the night. The bride's frantic search was both hilarious and heartwarming. The night culminated in a chaotic showdown involving a runaway groom, a scene that had everyone on the edge of their seats. Can chaos really lead to love? It was a question that lingered in the air as the night continued to unfold in the most unexpected ways. From faux pas to forever? It seemed like a far-fetched idea, but tonight it felt entirely possible.
So, about that second date, Elliot's voice was filled with hope and anticipation.
Sasha smiled, that mischievous glint back in her eyes. She'd been waiting for him to ask.
I thought you'd never ask. Her response was playful, yet sincere, hinting at the promise of many more chaotic, wonderful nights to come.
Life after the latte debacle. It's complicated, but in a good way. Life, as it tends to do, went on. The hustle and bustle of the city continued, with people going about their daily routines, seemingly unaware of the small dramas unfolding around them. Elliot and Sasha, against all odds, found themselves falling for each other. Their connection grew stronger with each passing day, and they discovered new layers to their personalities that they hadn't known existed. Their dates were still filled with laughter, though thankfully with fewer arrests and stolen pastries. They explored new cafes, shared their favorite books, and even tried cooking together, which led to some hilarious kitchen disasters. Max, ever the devoted, if somewhat misguided friend, embraced Sasha as one of their own. He organized group outings, ensuring that Sasha felt welcomed and included in their tight-knit circle. He even claimed credit for their relationship, citing his expert wingman skills. Max's antics provided endless entertainment for the group, and his loyalty was never in question. And Kendra? She bumped into Mark at a coffee shop a few weeks later. It was one of those serendipitous moments that seem straight out of a romantic comedy. They hit it off, proving that sometimes even the most disastrous mix-ups can lead to a happy ending. Their initial awkward encounter turned into a series of delightful dates, filled with deep conversations and shared dreams. Life, with all its complications, had a funny way of working out for the best. Bonus scene: Max's guide to being a wingman. Spoiler alert, it involves smoke bombs. Max, puffed up with pride at his perceived role in Elliot's newfound happiness, decided to write a guide on being the ultimate wingman. The first chapter, Smoke Bombs, Friend or Foe. It was a work in progress. A very loud, very smoky work in progress.
Smoke bombs, friend or foe?
Deleted scene: Elliot's inner monologue. A roller coaster of anxiety and awkwardness. Scene: Elliot is being dragged through the bakery by Sasha. Okay, stay calm. Maybe she's just quirky, right? Or maybe this is a kidnapping. Do I look like I have a good ransom amount? I should really do something about my posture.